Hey Kidley Beans, as you can see behind me, I've got a bunch of boards that I milled out this last week. Today what we're going to do is we're going to take the edges off these. We're going to finish these edges so that we actually have basically dimensional lumber at the end where we can actually make projects. So I'm going to show you how to do that, so let's get going. Okay, well, leaned up against a lean-to here next to the cabin is the boards we're going to cut. Now you notice that they're still rough on the edges, so that's what we got to do. We got to make these all nice and pretty. We've got everything from 3/4 inch stock, 1.5 inch stock, and actual 2 inch stock for special purpose. And we got to get the generator fired up and get some of our power tools ready. So let's get on with this because it's going to take all day for me, but hopefully only about 5 or 10 minutes for you. We've got our little workbench kind of set up in the yard. It's not level, but there's nothing in this yard that is. Over here we've got the bench saw sitting there waiting for when we're ready for that. The first thing we're going to do though is we're going to use a circular saw to cut one straight edge, and then when we get all those cut, we're going to move over to the table saw and cut the other side. Okay, the basic process is this. We put our board on our table. We have to have some sort of a, excuse me, a straight edge, which I fasten to the board. I measure in about 2 inches, and that's because of my saw. We have to clear the edge of the fence to the blade itself, so we're only really cutting off what's on this side of the blade, which isn't very much. Sorry about that. This side of the blade, which isn't very much. So even though we're measuring in, excuse me, 2 inches, we're only cutting off a little bit. Your saw is going to be different as far as how much you have to measure in. Possibly you're just going to have to play around with it. You take your straight edge, you affix it to your board, your ripping, and then it's just basically running down the length, the entire distance. Okay, well, the generator ran out of gas, and that's all fine with me. It's about going on 2 in the afternoon anyway, and I've been at this for quite a while. As you can see, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing next on Monday, I guess, because tomorrow's Sunday. We don't work here Sunday at the homestead. Look at that. We got flies coming out. It's so warm. It's in the 30s almost, like 32 degrees already. Okay, we ripped down our one side with the circular saw and the straight edge. What we got to do now is we got to do this side. We're going to do this side on the bench saw or table saw, whatever you want to call it. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be building first. I know what I'm going to build. I just don't have a design for it yet. I don't have a plan. I gotta do that. But I don't want to waste any board footage that I can. I don't want to waste anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this to get the widest board I can with a finished edge. And like I said, we're going to do that on the table saw over there, but not today. So what I'm going to do is basically go over to the table saw, measure. Well, first I got to measure the board. I'm going to measure you got to measure the narrow end. One end is going to be a little narrower than the other, and that's one where you want to take your dimensions off of, because you don't want to end up with a taper, right? So we're going to find the skinny end, and we're going to measure that and determine how wide our board is going to be. Now, if you can see on this board, way up at the end, right there, it's got a whoop-de-doo in it. So if you have a situation like that, that's where you want to take your measurement from, rather than the skinny end, because sometimes these trees can do really weird things and have bulges in them and all sorts of weird stuff. So basically the rule of thumb, I guess, would be to say just go from the narrowest part of the board to get your measurement for where you're going to be setting up your table saw at. That's it. Anyway, I'm done for the day. lumber. It's actually kind of fun. It doesn't cost a lot of money to build a bar mill. Just basically, just stuff I had laying around. It took me about 10 minutes to build it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned a little bit of something. I'm going to leave a link to one of my videos where I'm actually doing the milling process, and maybe you can enjoy that too. Why don't you subscribe if you'd like to, and hit the notification bell. I got some other videos coming up here pretty soon. If you want to read stories from the old days, I've got my blog, My Rural World blog. Just type that into your search engine. It'll take you right there. Obviously, I'm on YouTube here, My Rural World. Under Facebook at the same name, My Rural World. Also, myruralworld.com, where I've got cool stuff for sale. More stuff coming all the time. If you'd like to stop by there and buy one of my custom coffee mugs, I would sure appreciate it, or maybe even a t-shirt. This custom coffee mug right here proclaims that you have saved my life by buying that mug, and it's kind of the truth. So if you would do that, that would be really cool. It'd be just make my Christmas big time. Keep me here on my land with my dog, who's obviously barking in every direction, so I think we're surrounded. But anyway, we gotta go find out what it is. It's either a chupacabra or Bigfoot or something. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.